Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me, and thank you for joining me for another Mass Makes Monday. So this week we are following Tina's Mass Makes again. That's Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah. And this week is all about notebooks. So this is my little prototype, really simple. I just used cards that you get from card making kits. Just a couple of bits of paper and a sticker, label, crochet, and the pages are, I'm using completely all scrap pages from the ends of books, and they're all just 4 sheets stapled in, nothing fancy at all, just like so. And yeah, that's what we're going to make. So I'm going to make, so this was with the actual card. I'm going to make these ones with, it's a thick paper, and I think these are the inserts to go inside your cards. I've tea stained them all and they're quite thick and sturdy, so I thought actually these would do me just fine. So I'm going to get the papers in first of all, and the reason is because then it helps me decorate, because I'm going to have crochet along the outside. I have put washi down the centre, just to protect them, but that's going to be covered with washi, so you won't see that. So as I say, I've got all of my ends of books, and I'm just going to have to go through this little pile, fold in the papers, and I'm not being, you know, overly precious about it. I don't think these need to be particularly like neat or anything. I'm actually wondering if that could do me, no, I thought it would do me too, but not quite. And a great way to use up, as I say, I'm using ends of papers, and any time that there was a bit of writing on it, unless I wanted to keep the writing, I just tore it off. And it's a great way to get them used up. I have a whole pouch full of these. Okay, so as I said, 4 in each notebook. I've got 3 left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Clearly I can't count. So let me get some more paper. Alright, so I'm going to get these in the signature. And what I'm doing is the torn edges of the book, so the raggedy edges, I'm putting them at the bottom, because I'm going to cut these with the trimmer just to make things nice and easy. And I was thinking I can just cut 2 edges then, just the top and the side of each one. So just going to grab my trimmer, and I'm just going to use this as a guide as to how much to chop off. Basically just the raggedy edge at the bottom, so these are pretty much the exact size that I need, which is good. And then we can just stagger them through the notebooks. Hoping you can see what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not feeling the need to be particularly precious about these. The point is that they're quite scrappy looking. Okay, that's 2. Oh, I just need to take off a little bit from that one. Okay, that's 2. And last one. But yeah, with notebooks like this, I'm always you know, quite not blasé about it as such. Obviously I do still care about what I'm doing, but it's just a great scrap buster. So don't let your perfectionism get in the way of you powering through a bunch of scraps. Okay, so that's those done. So we've got lots of different heights of book pages in here, so I'm just going to arrange them. Just so you get a nice kind of layered look to it, really. Okay, now I'm going to use my stapler. I don't have one of those posh long arm staplers, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, she says. This is not old-fashioned at all, is it? So my stapler opens up, and I'm going to stand up, and using my book, I'm going to try and aim the staple for in the middle, where it's supposed to be. Okay, like so. And then what I have to do is just maneuver the staple into the right place. So it's a bit of a fiddly job, and I'm not convinced this is the best way to do it, but I don't like folding the paper, the cover, because my stapler actually creates marks, and I can never seem to get the staples to go all the way through on one go, on one try. So carefully, and I know I'm going to have a lot of people moaning at me for doing it this way, but I'm just going to use my awl just to carefully just squeeze the staples down. Like I said, in hindsight, well, in every kind of sight, to be honest, it would probably be actually easier to just what's the word? Stitch them in, actually. And that's kind of the route I normally go down. I think I've seen Treasure Books, you know, she uses a mouse mat, and hers just seemed to go straight through, and you'd think the book would work in a similar sort of way, but it doesn't really. So take what you like from this mass make. You're probably sitting there thinking, why on earth would I spend time doing it the way that I'm showing you? But I don't really know how else to go about it other than to stitch the papers in, either with a sewing machine or a needle and thread. But because they're such small, scrappy notebooks, I almost feel like stitching them in would be overkill, you know? When this works absolutely fine. It's not perfect, but it does do it eventually, as you can see. The papers are in. I wouldn't do this for a big journal or even a big notebook. This is purely just, these are little to go in pockets. So, as I say, take what you want from this mass make today, this week. But I want to be real with you in terms of, like, sometimes these ideas don't always pay off, do they? So I will do another one, and I'm going to try really hard this time to do it properly. And that one's not gone through. So then if I don't press hard enough, they stick out, but at least then I don't bend them. At least then I can just push them through like this, which actually is better. So maybe the trick is, don't push too hard on your stapler if you're going to do it this way. Because that did seem to go a little bit better, even if I didn't get it in the middle. If you've got a fancy long arm stapler, then you wouldn't have this problem, would you? You'd be able to do it a lot easier. Okay, that's the papers stitched in. I came to do the third one, I got the first staple in and it actually went through a lot better the third time. Third time's a charm. And I ran out of staples and I don't know where they are. So I'm gonna have to go find them later. But we can at least do the fun part now, which is to decorate them. So what I'm going to use is some book page, and actually I'm just going to tear all of these down so that I've just got the book text. And I tried to find book text that was all just solid text, you know, less paragraphs, just because for this type of decoration I think it looks better, personally. What went a bit funny there, never mind. I wasn't trying to get it straight or anything, I just wanted to be neat about it, neat-ish. And then I just want to get these roughly the same size of this box that I'm trying to cover up. That's what I want. Cool. So let's get these inked. So yeah, I'm going to go with some book text, a little bit of textured paper, and a mushroom sticker. That's how I'm going to decorate these, and a label. I've got some of my, I don't know if you can see them there, like field diary type book plates. I'm going to use those. So yeah, sorry if this week's mass make is a little bit higgledy. The stapler thing threw me off a little bit. Maybe I should have done that last. Okay, so let's get the book page down. I do enjoy the mass makes, but I have to say I do much prefer it when it's, you know, using up the scrapbook papers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel very, very glad to finally be using up these card blank things, because I've had them in my stash for quite a while. So it feels good to finally get, you know, those used. And that's what the mass makes has like forced me to do, is actually sit down and do this. Which is good. But yeah, I do definitely prefer the scrapbook paper mass makes. I think it's just the, you know, the folding and the cutting and stuff. I quite enjoy it actually. And having things fold out and flip out, and it's all just, for me, I just think it's so clever what people come up with, you know. So there we go, that's covered up that white box. And I was only really doing that because it was just a blank white box, which, you know, at least this gives me a more interesting background. And then I've got these series of papers that I think Mandy sent me these. Where's my ruler gone? I just want to give them a torn look again. Now really, I feel like I should have torn them not with a ruler. In my prototype I did not, you know, I didn't do straight edges, and I think I actually preferred that. I think the only reason I did it differently this time is because I was trying to cover up that white box. But yeah, given doing it again, I think I would, I'll actually show you my prototype in a minute. I showed you at the beginning, but as you can see with this one, you know, it's not so uniform, really. Okay, right, I should be able to get, that's it. So I'll just ink that. Can't believe I ran out of staples. Literally one staple left to go. Isn't that always the way with stuff like that? You know, if you're going to run out, think it goes that way. It'll always be on the last go or whatever. I just can't believe it. So yeah, this is very simple collaging, nothing fancy whatsoever. But and yeah, as I say, the only reason I'm adding this extra paper is just so that it gives these stickers don't show up too well directly over book page compared with you know, a background, plain background I should say. And then I've got these labels, which, okay, I think I'll go with this one. I think what's throwing me off is that I've not done the crochet actually, because I can see the pink washi. I should have done the crochet first, but it's because it takes a lot of gluing, really. So, you know, I don't want you to see me do that 1,000 times. So I'll have to, you know, pause the video to go off and do it, but that's okay, isn't it? Now I'm gonna pop this down. Check roughly in the middle. Yeah, and I might very well add numbers to these because I do quite like, I didn't have room on this one for the label down the bottom. I stuck a specimen label instead. But yeah, I might do something different with these. Maybe. So we'll go with that. I've worn myself out now. Oh, I don't know. I've run out of things to say. I think it's because I'm still thinking about that staple. I'm trying to think where on earth my staples might be. That's why. I just think I don't know where they are. And I don't have another stapler either. But yeah, the staples must be around somewhere. Just one of those things. I'm not sure what I might have done with them. I might go with that one on there. And findings. Like I said, it's going to look completely different once we've got the crochet down the edge like that. So I am trying to, you know, take stock of that. Yeah, should be fine. I'm getting my desk in a right mess again. When I when I start a video, I'm very good at like putting things back where they're supposed to be. But by the time I'm sort of, you know, into it and everything, stuff just goes absolutely everywhere. You know, much like if I was just at home on my own, you know. Yeah, I do think these are missing a some kind of number on them, so I think I might try that. I did have some numbers earlier, so I'm hoping I'll be able to find them again. Now, this one's a much darker cardstock thing, so I think I might, there we go. use a darker mushroom on this one. Yeah, I definitely wish that I had done the book page as not so straight edged. I think that's throwing me off as well, but you live and you learn, don't you? It's what it is. I think sometimes with mass makes, particularly when it comes to the decorating, you know, if you are trying to follow a formula or a pattern or something, it can sometimes not so much rush you or anything. It's not that, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain really. I think because you're trying to do the same thing over and over again, rather than, you know, change it up or what have you. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me. Ignore me. I've gone higher with the label on that one for some reason. Right, what have I done with my numbers? So I just added the crochet, just glued on, and already they're looking miles better. The washi was really throwing me off. Okay, so my numbers don't quite sit right, but I reckon we can fix it with butterflies. What do you think? I think yes. So I've just been cutting out some orange and brown butterflies, and I'm just going to place them where I think my collage looks a little bit hinky, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Just ink these quickly. I do this a lot, and butterflies and soft things like that always help. So for me, it really throws me off when I've got stuff like this. It's got just a random, where I tore the paper a bit funny. For me, that just sort of sticks out a little bit weirdly. And then if we look here, my mushroom picture, can you see where the mushroom picture ends? And then I've just got a little bit of, you know, the paper showing through. It doesn't look bad or anything. It's not bad. It just doesn't look as good as it could, in my opinion. And I have dropped my, oh no. Sorry, I dropped my butterfly. But I feel like with butterflies and it softens the collaging and gives your eye something else to look at rather than hinky edges, if that makes sense. All kinds of things would work. This is where things like butterflies, labels, numbers, that kind of a thing, anything that you can put, you know, to almost like in the corner of something. I do it all the time. It just, for me, really makes a difference to collages. And I don't know if it's just a personal thing to me, like, I don't know if it's just something that I like to do, or if it's just, you know, a common thing when it comes to collaging. But I just feel like straight away it just adds so much to the picture. And yeah, I'd love to know if you're the same, or if it's just me being funny. So then, you know, if I look to this one, where have I got sort of hinkiness or things where maybe it looks like something's missing? And for me, it would be sort of kind of up here, I think, and kind of down, well, yeah, basically the same sort of places, but I think this one's a little bit big. Or equally, we could maybe try an orange butterfly, just have it stick out. Stick off the page a bit more. That's what I was trying to say. I think I need to go eat some lunch. I'm running out of ammo. I don't want them flying the same way, she says. This one has to fly that way because it looks like it's coming to land. So this one would go this way. Goodness me, does anyone else faff with their butterfly placement as much as I do? Probably not. Anyway, that's those, and I'm going to wait to do this one until I've done the stapling and the crocheting, because then I'll know where to put the butterflies. Gosh, well, as far as mass makes go, I'm not sure that was a complete success this week, because well, yeah, I got 2 done completely on video, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's all the fun of it, I suppose. But I like them, don't get me wrong. I do like how they look, especially with the nice big mushroom stickers and that. Yeah, I think going forwards, if I were to do these again, and I would, you know, I wouldn't not, I would make sure that I do completely torn edges with the book page. I just think that looks nicer, more interesting and less uniform. And well, yeah, mainly that. Mainly that, because I do think the butterflies helped the collage overall. But yeah, that's those. From very simple notebooks, which took longer to decorate than to make, but that's the way it goes. So thanks so much for joining me. Anyway, that is me. That is my mass makes for this week. I think next week we are working on tags using scraps. I think that is the plan for next week. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the Mass Makes Mondays, and we'll speak soon. Bye for now.